like, leave a comment, and share this broadcast. And here's the reason why: you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that we will be sharing today. I want to remind you who's listening that every day above ground is a blessed day. It doesn't matter what your challenges are, always remember that when there is life, there is hope. So if you are genuinely happy to be alive this moment, wherever you are, I want you to take a second, place your hand on your chest, and say, I am blessed. Yes, you are indeed blessed because you have the opportunity to set new goals. You have the opportunity to build new relationships. You have the opportunity to start all over. Doesn't matter how challenging, it is a blessing. And before we get started with our podcast interview, I want to remind you who's listening that if you feel blessed or inspired by what we do using our platform, you can support the work we do here by making a donation to the John Ughulu Foundation. This foundation is committed to providing online coaching and mentoring services to as many people as possible. So if you would like to contribute and make a difference, head over to our website, www.johnughulu.com. It's JOHNUGHULU.com, or click the link in our show notes. Today, I am thrilled to welcome our special guest, Pastor Darlene Thorne. Now, Pastor Darlene is a multifaceted leader, devoted wife, mother. She's an author, a speaker, coach, and mentor. Her life is deeply rooted in faith, family, and community. As the Chief Executive Officer of A Heart After the Father LLC, she guides women caregivers in holistic self care. She developed the Refresh, Refill, and Renew framework, which empowers women to prioritize self care and overcome guilt. By so doing, it enables them to thrive in all areas of life. Her coaching focuses on helping caregiving entrepreneurs establish sustainable self care routine. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please join me as I welcome this distinguished guest, Pastor Darlene, to the Morale Booster podcast. Welcome, Pastor. How are you?
I am well. It is my privilege to be here with you, Dr. John.
You're welcome. You see, you wear so many hats, and it takes courage, it takes strength to be in that position. So I want to say welcome to you once again, and thank you for
Thank you.
taking time out of your busy schedule. It's not easy to let go of what you're doing, to come on a platform, to speak to people you might not have even met in your lifetime. So thank you once again.
Oh, you are so welcome. It is my privilege to serve.
Awesome, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, just the same thing I'm doing right now. I want to encourage all of you to please share this broadcast on all your platforms. I'm doing the same thing right now. Now, the reason why I typically encourage people to share this broadcast is because you might just be saving the life of that
Mhm.
one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message we will be sharing today. Yes, life as it is right now is extremely challenging. You never can tell what they would hear on this podcast that would make a difference. So God bless you. How's the
Amen.
weather over there, Pastor?
Today is absolutely beautiful. It is,
Awesome.
yeah, we got up to 70 degrees today. I'm so very happy.
It's very warm here in Georgia. You know, it's a blessing.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
will go out and play golf after this interview. I
Oh,
hope the weather
nice.
stays so. Yeah.
I
Uh,
believe.
Thank you so much. All right. So I know many caregivers actually struggle with prioritizing their own well being.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I have a cousin who's in that space.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man. He works like 247.
Wow.
He has a home health care agency.
Mm-hmm.
He works 247, Mondays through Sundays. Now, what inspired you to create that refresh, refill, and renew framework? And how has it transformed the lives of the women you coach?
Well, first of all, thank you again for this opportunity to be here with you and to share with your viewers. The Refresh, Refill, Renew framework came out of my own experiences. You see, in 2019, November of 2019, my husband suffered a stroke. And as he suffered this stroke, he was hospitalized for 6 months. And during that time, I became his primary caregiver. And upon him returning home, there were some things that were different. Now he is not going back to work, but he is going to doctor's appointments. He is going to therapy sessions and becoming strengthened again. A part of the stroke that he suffered affects his memory, and it affects certain things in movement. And what I found that worked for me was, first of all, making sure that as you hear them say on the plane, put your mask on first and then take care of the ones that are with you. I needed to learn how important it was to take care of me as well as caring for my husband. One of the things that I found that I did incorrectly, which brought me to refresh, refill, and renew, was I was so busy making sure he went to his appointments. He had everything that he needed, uh, making sure he had his medicine, make sure he ate properly, got plenty of rest. He got plenty of rest, and I did not. And I ended up in the hospital with a stress induced asthma attack. And while I was in the hospital, right then and there, I recognized that if I do not take care of me, who is going to be there to take care of my husband? And in that moment, I decided that I don't have to do everything myself, that there are resources, there is community that I can reach out to, that I can bring a rally around our family. And so now, years later, as I have refined, refresh, refill, and renew, people can come and glean from me how to make sure that you care for you while you are caring for your loved one.
Wow, thank you for sharing. And sorry to hear that your husband had a stroke. You know, life life would always come with challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And you are God sent to him because God uses people to help people, right? So we thank God.
Absolutely.
Yes, we thank God you were able to, pick up and support him at that time. Thank you for that.
Amen.
And you
Amen.
said something that resonates with me. You said it's always advisable to put your mask on first.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very easy for us to get carried away with life, with the busyness of life, with our superhero energy that we have within us, and think that, oh, we are superheroes who will never break down,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing that when we break down, it will have a huge impact, negative impact on the people we care for, right?
Yes.
So that's one thing we need to emphasize. We need to stress on that. We need to always constantly remind people to take care of themselves. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are. Look, if you do not take care of yourself, you will be forced to fall sick at some point. So thank you.
Yes. Yes. Your body speaks to you, and your
Yes,
body tells you when you need to rest. Your body tells you even when you need to eat specific things. There are minerals that your body craves for, there are vitamins that your body will crave for. And if you are in tune with your body and listen to your body, you can take care of you.
I love that. If we listen to our bodies, we can take care of ourselves. Thank you so
Hmm.
much for sharing that. Now, you are a pastor.
Hmm.
So now, as a pastor, a coach, and an entrepreneur, it's obvious you wear many hats, right? So, how do you integrate faith based principles into self care? And why do you believe it's essential for women in caregiving roles, like introducing faith based principles into
Hmm.
self care? Why do you think it's important to caregivers? And how do you do that so that others can learn?
Well, I I read the Bible, and in the Bible, I believe it's in Genesis when God created the heavens and the earth. On day number one, He created this. Day number two, and so on. And it said on the seventh day, it said that He rested after He did all of what He was supposed to do, creating man, creating the sun, moon, the stars, the grass, the fish, the sea. When he finished doing that part of the assignment, he rested. I think about Jesus when he walked this earth. I don't remember reading anywhere in the Bible that Jesus ran anywhere. As a matter of fact, when he was informed that his good friend Lazarus was sick, it took him days to get there. And by the time he arrived, they said, if you'd gotten here earlier, my brother wouldn't have died. He's been dead for 4 days. Even Jesus took his time. Even Jesus rested. And if we take our cues from our Savior, we must rest. He tells us in His Word, take my yoke upon me, upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly. I will give you rest. So, if we're following what Scripture tells us, we're going to make sure that our body receives the rest that it needs so that we can be productive when we are in movement. You see, I believe that our Father was very intentional. He was very and continues to be deliberate. And when He gives us an assignment, His assignment always comes with timelines. He never gives us an assignment and says, now go do it now. You got to get it done now. When He gives us an assignment, He wants us to sit with Him so that we are able to access the downloads from heaven, walk them out, And then again, go back and rest, recalibrate, be recharged and strengthened, and then ready for the next assignment.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. This message will be very, very helpful to the morale members of the morale booster community, because I'm very positive, very optimistic, very positive that um, the majority of the members of the morale booster empire are people who are putting in the work, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them are extremely busy, including myself. I am guilty of that.
I
you know
believe I believe it at times we all are guilty of that.
hmm,
And that's why the scriptures remind us to make sure that we rest.
yes, and there is a quote that I try to share on my WhatsApp status, you
Mm-hmm.
know, every now and then. I love it because it's just a great reminder. It says, if you do not make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. Because if
Woo!
you do not make time for your wellness, you will be forced when the time comes to make time for your wellness. At that point, you will be taking lots of pills. You will be going to, you will be at the hospital. You will be having, doctors will be telling you to do things you typically would not want to do. And that's why I really appreciate you for coming on this program, because this is a great reminder for everybody. And imbibing the biblical principles
Mm-hmm.
also helps. And I really love the fact that you shared that with us. So, because yes, God rested,
Mm-hmm.
and it is expected for us to follow the ways of God in
Yes,
all that we do. All right. Thank you so much for
absolutely.
sharing that. So, now let's go into practical steps.
Mm-hmm.
Caregivers often battle guilt
Mm-hmm.
when focusing on themselves, right? So now,
Yes.
what practical steps do you recommend to shift from guilt to empowerment, ensuring that they don't pour from an empty cup? Practical steps.
Well, one of the things that's important is, as I mentioned before, rest. Because when you rest, you are able to then hear from heaven and you can get what you need from Him to know what to do. One other thing is, as you see me, I have this glass of water. Many of us have a challenge with taking care of our bodies, and our bodies are made up of 70% water. Why would we not give our bodies what our bodies need? And that's critically important. Making sure that we are cleaning out our temple. Just as much as we will take showers and bathe daily, we use water and soap for the outside, correct? Why would we not bathe as though it were the insides of our bodies with what our bodies need? Very practical. Some of us, now I will share with you uh, an issue I had some years ago, talking many years ago, where I was addicted. And I say that because I really was. I was addicted to Pepsi. So much so. Now I got to share this with you so you'll understand oh, the addiction that I had. So much so that there was one night I was getting ready to go to bed and I wanted to have a Pepsi before I went to bed. And I thought I had one more can left. And I went into my pantry and my cupboard, and there was not one there. Now, I told you I was ready to go to bed, which means I was already in my pajamas. I literally got dressed, got in my car, and drove to the store to get a Pepsi. That was the level of addiction that I had to Pepsi. And that was ruining my body. Putting all of that stuff in my body was ruining my body. And at the time, I didn't like water. I didn't like it. It's like, okay, we'll drink it because we have to. But what I did also, when I realized that I was getting, and it was almost 11 o'clock at night, and I'm going out to get a Pepsi, there's something wrong with that picture. And so when I got back home and I realized, Darlene, now there's something wrong with you. You're addicted to this thing. I asked the Lord to help me to get rid of that addiction. And so that caffeine, that taste would not rule me. And I asked God to give me a love for water. Let me love water. This is what I need. This is what is going to cause my body to be its healthiest. And God gave me a love for water. Getting proper rest. How many of us go to bed at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning and get up at 5, 6, 7 in the morning and think that we've gotten enough rest and we're great to go? Studies show that if you are in bed and sleeping by 10:30, between the hours of 10:30 and 2 in the morning, that is the best time for your body to recalibrate. If you'd done any studying, if you had taken any classes and you were learning a new skill during the day, between the hours of 10 and 2, your brain is locking in the things that you've studied. When people talk about, I'm going to pull an all-nighter because they're cramming for an exam, they may be able to spit it out on paper. But if you ask them hours later, any one of those questions, they would not have the answer because all they did was put it in so it could just pop out. But there was nothing that would allow the studies or anything that they put in their head to stay. There was no calibration to be able to take place because that happens between the hours of 10 and 2. The other thing that happens between the hours of 10 and 2 is that's the dream state. It's an entire cycle. We should go through at least 4 90-minute cycles to rest. That is what allows our bodies to heal. You know, when your doctor says go home and get some rest, they really mean get rest because that is how your body heals itself. And so if we were to use these are practical things, going to bed, the work that is going to that is on your plate, it's going to be there tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. We have to shut it down, close the books, and say, we'll be here tomorrow. If we were to do things like that, sleeping and getting great rest. And then when we wake up in the morning, one of the things that I do when I wake up in the morning, it literally, before I get out of bed, I smile. And they say, why it was smiling? What does that have to do with anything? Smiling creates your day. When you smile, you begin to bring those endorphins and you wake them up. And then you have your time of devotion and prayer and praise and worship and begin your day with our Father and allow Him to order our steps. Those are some practical things. There are so many more that I teach in the Refresh, Refill, Renew blueprint that really helps those to get them, bring them back to center and back in focus. So I believe that these are some things and more that we can do to practically take care of ourselves.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. Those were powerful gems. You talked about you emphasized on the importance of rest, which
Hmm.
is key. And you also reminded us that we should be intentional about making the change that we want to see.
Yes.
Yes. If we are not intentional about actually observing or getting the rest, nothing will change.
What do they say? Change isn't change until you change.
I like that. Yes, yes, yes. Change isn't change until you change. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you just heard that. Write that down. Information is paramount. Information is key. It's power, it's knowledge. But let's also remember that information all by itself cannot lead to transformation.
Hmm.
But the only thing that can convert information to transformation is action. So we must take action. We must take action today, especially to caregivers. I have a lot of them in my community, Morale Booster Network. They don't rest. They work too for like they work, 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 work. So this is a reminder for you again. You will keep hearing these reminders. This is God sent. This is a God sent reminder for you who's listening to us, who's a caregiver. Get some rest. And you talked about starting your day with a smile,
Yes.
which is good.
Hmm.
I remember when I was growing up, when I was still living with my parents, um, my mom had this wall art on the wall that says, "Smiling makes you beautiful."
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I still remember that word. Yeah, smiling makes you beautiful. You know, smiling is therapeutic. So I that resonates with me. So it's always good to start it. I
Hmm.
don't smile. I would incorporate that to my morning routine. So when I, yeah, when I wake up, I just wake up and I, say hello to everyone, and we do our morning prayers.
Hmm.
We do that before my kids. I still have young kids, so before they
Uh,
go to school, we pray early.
mhm.
Um, they wake up at about 5, so by 6, we're already doing our prayers, and yeah. So to everybody who's listening right now, these are just reminders. These are practical ways for us to incorporate things that would make us feel good. Because when the body is, when the body does not rest, your day will be messed up. That's just the truth. And thank you for sharing this. All right. Let's see. I know, we've spent a lot of time here now. My question to you now is, what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of women caregivers?
I hope to leave a legacy of change that those who come behind me will impact others because of the changes that they've made in their lives. That their testimony will be, I made a change and it made a difference for me. And they pass that along to someone else. That their lives will be shining brightly for others to emulate, for others to follow, for them to see the results of making change Those little incremental changes can make a big difference over time. And my prayer is that those who have seen me, those who have watched me, that if they just take a few of the things that I do and implement them in their lives, that they will make an impact on their families, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Yes, that's a great legacy, and it's possible. We hope to see it. We know we will see it by the special grace
Absolutely.
of God. Keep
Yes.
shining your light. Thank you so much for joining us on the Morale Booster podcast. If you are still listening to us wherever you are, by the special grace of God, we are streaming on over 20 platforms at the moment, but only three video enabled platforms. But others are just audio platforms. So wherever you are listening right now, please remember to like, leave a comment, and share this broadcast. Why? Because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that Pastor Darlene just shared with every one of us. So, madam, thank you so much. Now, how can people contact you?
Well, I did put in the chat that they can go to my pen site, and I have a special gift there on that link. It is pen site, PENSIGHT.com/X /Darlene Thorne. There's a special gift for them, a free gift that shows them how to rest.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm very sure you all just heard that. For those of you who are just who cannot see these links, um, you can reach out to her via the contact information in the show notes right there. Click on that. Follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is right there for you. It is Lady Darling LT number three, figure three.
Yes,
All right, go there right now and follow her. Or you can also visit her website, www.darlingthorn.com. Is that website still valid?
absolutely.
Awesome, great. So reach out to her if you've got a question, if you've got comments or concerns, send her a DM on Instagram, and she'll be more than happy to respond to you as quickly as she possibly can. It might not be immediately, but she will certainly reach out or respond to you. God bless you all. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on this program. And before I go, I want to share this with members of the Morale Booster Empire. We're excited to share some amazing ways for you who's just joining us to stay connected with our mission and continue to grow together. Your support and engagement means the world to us. Now, there are ways you can connect with us. The first one is if you feel blessed or inspired by today's podcast, you can support by making a donation to the John Ughulu Foundation. This foundation is committed to providing online coaching and mentoring services. So if you'd like to contribute and make a difference today, head over to our website, www.johnughulu.com. It's JOHNUGHULU.com, or click the link in the show notes. Secondly, you can also purchase inspirational books from the same website, johnughulu.com, or you can listen to our latest podcast episodes. You can always get those episodes on the website, johnughulu.com. Click on resources, and it will take you to the books and the podcast link. And lastly, you can join our growing community where we support and inspire each other every day. If you subscribe today for just $10 monthly, you would enjoy the chance of being a repeat guest on the Morale Booster podcast, which will give you the opportunity to showcase your products and services. You will also be eligible for nominations for the Morale Booster Awards. And also, if you are a part of this community, you stand a chance of being nominated for the President's Lifetime Achievement Award. So, thank you all for being a part of this journey with us. Together, we can continue to make a lasting impact and spread positivity in all we do. Ma'am, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here. And I hope when next we invite you, you will be willing to come share some more words of wisdom with our community.
Absolutely. I count it my privilege to serve.
All right. God bless you all. And I want you who's listening to me from wherever you are to understand that today is the first day of the rest of your life. You have greatness within you. Bye, everybody. We'll be in touch.